All right, one of my most popular videos on YouTube is the Mystery Machine. And this is going to be a revisit. The earlier one was from round 2. This one's from Revel, okay? And I get the feeling this was for the movie that just came out, but all of a sudden a whole bunch of model kits from different companies started showing up, like Hawk. And I'm looking around because I bought a bunch of them. Hawk, Lindbergh started showing up in the discount stores, and this showed up with it, and so did the Revel Halo model kits. They showed up as well. Okay, so let's review this one. Let's see if the Revel is decent, because that round 2 one was pretty horrible. Okay, so let me get my hobby knife from over here and let's open this up. I'm probably going to go ahead and build this thing while we sit here, because most likely it is not a big deal to build this. Look, Scooby there looks more like Lego than a model kit. This is going to be one of their build and play kits, kind of like the Revel Star Destroyer. Yeah, you got some parts are already pre-cut. Scooby doesn't want to pull out of the box very well. They're pre-painted, pre-cut. There might be some stickers to put on it. There might not. We'll find out in a few minutes as we pull everyone out of their box. Let's just dump it like we should. And Scooby is like glued in here so you don't steal him out of the store. Anti-theft packaging at its finest right there. Alright, so we got the Revel Mystery Machine out. And we have a part map right at the beginning showing you all the different parts. And it does look like it's fairly well pre-painted, but I don't see any of the flowers that are on the front of the box here. Okay, so there should be a sticker sheet somewhere that has them. The tires are only half tires. That's great. And there's that. I don't see stickers, but then again, I could have dropped something. The windshield's in pre-packaged by itself, and then we got Scooby here. It looks like Lego pieces. I don't see the flowers, so there must be stickers. Let me look in the box and make sure I didn't miss anything. Because I could have. But no, that box is blissfully empty. And I do mean very empty. And it doesn't say Mystery Machine on the side, so there's got to be some stickers somewhere that I'm missing. Yeah, nothing here in the box. It'd be pretty bad if it didn't come with them. Or I'm just missing them somehow. Okay? So let's get everything opened up. Let's see what we got. Because looking at this, the stickers could be in the directions somewhere. They could be buried in here. But yep, there they are. It is a sticker sheet, just like you would get with a Gundam. And you've got some monster stickers. You've got Zoing. And you have a few other stickers, Scooby snacks, some sandwiches, the flowers, the Mystery Machine. So you have a fairly nice sticker sheet, but they are stickers, not decals. Okay, so this, you gotta remember what age this is geared for. I think I'm gonna start at the end. We'll put together Freddy and Daphne and Scooby. You don't get a Shaggy and you don't get a Velma, which is sad. I have another one I'll go over in a little bit, which is the a biplane. I don't know where the biplane came from and why they have a biplane, but I do have the biplane kit, and I will go over it in a little bit, and we'll see who comes with it. I know Velma comes with it. Hopefully Shaggy comes with it too. Well, there's Daphne. Got her all out of her baggie. Okay. And she doesn't look very hard. You take her body, and again, it's a lot like Legos. You snap that in there. But this is not Lego material. It's more vinyl-ish. And we have a ball joint for the arms. Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to break it putting that arm on there. There we go. It went on. Let's get her head on. How's her head look? Pretty devoid of detail. Okay. I mean, it's passable. She's a cartoon character, right? You don't look too closely. You'll know it's Daphne. And I think for some of us, that's all we really need to know, right? And this is designed for kids. Does it have an age range on it? It should have an age range on it, 6+. And funny, Miri just turned 6, and she saw me bring this in the house, and she's like, that's mine, that's mine. This is probably going to end up in Miri's hands. This is supposed to be a build and play. So we will give it a test and see if it's kid approved once it's put together. Some of you might be looking for this for the kids. Okay, let's don't put the arms on backwards. That would be a tragedy because you might not be able to undo this. It's tight as those arms fit on there. Yay, the phone is ringing while I'm making a video. Isn't that also fun? And let's put it's nothing important. My actual phone isn't ringing. That's a house phone, which we don't answer because it's full of spam. Alright, there we go. We have that one made. Okay? Now let's find Scooby and let's put Scooby together. Don't really need directions to put Scooby together and the others because they only really go together one way. There we go. There's Scooby's head inserted in there. Again, it's a little bit, it feels like Legos when I'm putting it together. The material is kind of vinylish, which means it might hold up, it might not. And I say that because these ball joints might not hold up really well with time. And getting heavily played with kids. You know how kids are, they'll yank the legs right off. My 1-year-old will get mad at the 3-year-old and yank the arms off the Barbie. And here's Scooby. You know, the real star of the show. Scooby-Doo! I can't do Scooby-Doo. Don't ask. I mean, for a kid thing, kids are going to like playing with this as long as it holds up. Your older kids will be fine with it. You like 8 or 9-year-olds who aren't into destroying things, they'll be fine with it. So let me get the parts out. Let's take a look at the parts and we'll come back and look at the directions. So I'm going to pause the camera and take these all out of their baggies and lay them out, okay? Alright, got all the parts laid out. We have the upper half of the van, and you can see some tide marks in the back. You really want to do a good job, you have to paint it, but it wouldn't be that bad to paint, simply because there's some good grooves in here, some good engraving, which means masking this and painting would be really easy to do. So you could paint this and get rid of the tide marks if you want to make a nice model out of it. You're just building something to give to your kids, I'd leave it be. Here is the bottom half of it. Again, you've got some really nice panel lines on here, if you want to call them that, except for up here at the top in the front where the tire goes. They knew they'd put the tire there, so they didn't bother, but you could get away with masking around this. It'd be really easy to mask this and paint it, but the tide marks are minimal on here. The tide marks are where the plastic was injected in and it flowed, and it left flowing marks, and you can see them on the back half of this. Okay, I don't want to snap it together just yet, and I bet it comes apart real easily because the seats actually have cup holders. We have 2 seats, one has floor mats, and it would have been good if there were stickers for those floor mats or something, just a little bit more detail, but there's not. Again, if you're the painting kind of person, it wouldn't be that hard to mask and paint those flowers. Okay, and here's the roof. There's holes in the roofs for some reason. We'll find out when we look at the directions in a little bit. The tires are a little one-dimensional. It is a comic book thing. They have no backs. It would have been better if they'd had backs, but then again, they're kids. They're assuming you won't see them. There's the tire that goes on the front. It's got a nice coating on it, but mine has a rough spot right about there, and it's wavy at the center. There's the dash, really plain. It does have air conditioner vents. Yay, they don't drive around in heat. I mean, if you live here in Texas with me, it's like 105 outside right now, and we're in September. The glass is really clear, but I bet it's styrene, which means it won't hold up to scratches. We have a pretty plain steering wheel, which does not look straight. Roof racks, most likely. This is not styrene. It's more of a rubbery type thing. Most of this plastic is not styrene. Might be, but I don't think so. It doesn't feel that way. I'm sure these are the pegs to hold the tires on. Bumpers. The bumpers aren't beautiful, but they're not ugly. You could fix them if you wanted to paint. There's the front headlights. You wouldn't really need to do much with those. Rear bumper. Again, not beautiful. You can see molding marks in them. Like right in here, you can see where the ejection pins and stuff were. If you were going to paint it, that would hide the most of that. I don't feel them when my fingers across it. And then we got the bottom. A little bit of detail on the bottom of it, but not much. Not enough detail to go, woo, that's beautiful. And again, a lot of these car model kits don't have great detail on the bottom. They just don't bother with it. Okay? Let's start putting this together. It shouldn't take too long to put it together. Build and play, just like the Star Destroyer. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, steps 1 and 2, is we put the tires on. And I was right, the orange pins are just for putting the tires on. Okay? And this is going to go together really quick. I get the feeling. And you take a tire, put it on there, pop that in. That's all there is to it. They roll. And again, from the other side, you will be able to tell they are not solid. I mean, if you were crafty, you could get some 2-part epoxy and fill them in. And then sand them smooth, and you wouldn't have that issue. Well, there you go. There's part of it. Now, the next part is take the front part of the van, take the headlights, and you put them through the holes here. And that does go in there fairly easily. As to durability, nope, they're going to be able to push out pretty easily. So the kids are going to break that pretty quickly. And then again, I'm dealing with 6-year-olds. Alright, now, this doesn't really have any alignment, but it's not hard. You're curved on the front and flat on the back. Curved on the front, flat on the back. So you just snap that in there, and it snaps. Is it going to come out easily? Yes. So we will have a bit of fun with the children's, and that if the seats don't pin it down tightly, it will come apart. But it rolls nicely. You know, so if you got the little one who likes to you can brum it. Alright, up next are the seats. Okay? Now, there are 2 different seats. One has the floorboards and one doesn't. This is the back seat and this is the front seat. They do have cup holders though. Now the front seat just goes straight in. There's 2 holes which hold it. And it goes in there fairly well. And the thing about it is it will hold that. It does not hold it incredibly well, but it does help hold it together. As you can tell, I can push it apart. Both seats in there might work better. We will see in a minute. Do our characters sit in them? Kind of, but they do sit. That's what the dividers are for, so you can put them all in the front seat. Now the back seat says, hey, you know, we need to add Scooby snacks and a Shaggy sandwich. So let me get them off here. And we'll add Scooby snacks and a Shaggy sandwich to that back seat. So I can get a seat feeling what these stickers are. They're not like Bandai stickers. They feel like vinyl. They feel like if you pull them up, you can stick them down yet again, and again. They conform, but they're really shiny. So if it was me, and you know, this was for me, that probably wouldn't be in there. Okay? I'm not building this for me. Kids will get it, and we'll see how well it holds up. So a week or 2 after the video, we'll come back to it and see if it's in pieces, if it's together, what happened to it. But there's your sandwich and your Scooby snacks. And again, you can see they're pretty shiny. Alright? And the back seat goes in. I'm glad this isn't taking lunch, long, because this is my lunch break. And again, if you painted those flowers a little bit, it'll look good. And it wouldn't be too hard to paint them. This is raised up fairly well. Alright, so we're done with step 5. And there's only 12 steps on putting the van together, so we're moving really quickly. Now I get to put more stickers on here. I get to put some stickers on the dash. I put sticker 4 and sticker 3 on the dash. Okay? So I've got my dash lined up right. So I find sticker 4, which is this one. Sticker 4 is the speedometer. Okay? And doing a lot of the Bandai stickers to give you good practice. Because stickers are nothing like decals, or however you want to say it. Stickers just, you only get one try on them in most cases. So if you screw that up, you know you screwed it up. Now sticker 3 is this little one here. So let me get this little one. And it covers over the center part here. It says Scooby-Doo on it. And I probably misaligned that just a little bit, and it does slide around a bit. I'm doing one thing very wrong. Being older, you need the cheater glasses. Don't try things without the cheater glasses, because you can't see what you're doing. Yeah, it does slide around on there so you can get it aligned. And then press it down, and I bet that is peeled off within a few days, honestly. I got a kid who, we buy pop-up books, she tears the pop-ups out. Well, there you go. Steering wheel's done, speedometer's done, that's the whole dash. The dash now goes into the mystery machine, and apparently it just slides in. And yeah, you can see how it slides in. There's some grooves on the front up here for this to slide into, and it doesn't really slide in there very far. It kind of sits up on the top a little bit, as you can see. Okay? Here we go. You can drive now. There you go. He even has his hands where he can drive a little bit. Yeah, his hands line up with the steering wheel. That's cool. Okay? So you can put him in there kind of driving. Alright. Look, we got step 6 done. Step 7's put the glass in the top half. Okay? Now it shows the glass going from the front into there. And yeah, it shows that. And it snaps in. Yeah, it snaps in really well. Again, I don't expect this glass to hold up to scratches very well. Could give it a future treatment, because future will help protect it. But again, this isn't really meant to be a model kit. For me, anyhow. For some of you who really like Scooby-Doo, it might. The top goes on next. And it goes on there. And I get the feeling you could take that right off if you really tried. And it might be that way just so you can put the figures in and out. Step 9 is put the front bumper on. Okay. Now, it looks like that's the back bumper and that's the front bumper. Yes. You can't tell from step 9 which bumper's which, but on step 10, 11 you can. In step 9, you put the bumper on. That has hex holes here, one hole bigger than the other. You can see one pin's bigger than the other, so you can't put it on backwards. And that would probably help you keep from putting the wrong bumper on the wrong side. And that just pops in there. Again, your little kid who's prying things apart, that comes apart. Step 10 is put this on the front. I don't really think it matters what orientation that has, because it's round and it will spin. Okay? I'm noticing the tires like to come off. Let's turn the page. Now we got to put the back bumper on. And I haven't seen any stickers yet, but I know we're going to have stickers coming up. And the license plate goes up on this. Again, the pins are sized so it can only go on one way. And there it goes. It slides on fairly well. The bumpers are rubbery type material, whereas this is plastic. So the bumpers go on fairly well. You can see whoever nipped this off the sprue didn't nip it off real well right there. There's a nip mark. Okay. And then we take our roof and we put the roof rails on it. The roof rails go across the roof. They are sized as well. You have one bigger than, no, you don't have one bigger than the other, but they can only go on here pretty much one way. So I don't think it matters too much. They don't want to snap in. They're that rubbery material again, and they don't want to go in. Let me put this one in the back. That one went in. Guess I just have to push it right. That one don't want to go in. Okay. Let me do this one. They have some rivet marks on these roof racks, which is kind of cool. It's like the arms on the figures. They just didn't really want to go together. And I bet if I use my tweezers, I can push them down in there right. Nope. There it goes. Yeah, I gotta use the tweezers. So if you were a kid and you bought this, you're gonna need your parents' help with this one, because that one's just not gonna go well. But they get in there. They get in there pretty good. I don't think my 3-year-old's going to pull those out of the roof rack. And then this goes on the top. It's got some nice snaps on it. So once this gets in there, and I think it's going to go that way better. Yep, it went that way better. Alright, now it has a pry mark right there, so I guess you can pry that off if you need to. But from what I figured earlier, yep, it's going to come apart that way easier than we'll be taking the roof off. I think it's designed to come apart right there. So we have the mystery machine all put together. That was step 12. Now what we have is a marking guide on the back showing you where all the rest of the stickers go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, put the stickers on and come back. You don't need to watch me do the stickers. But then I'll come back and we'll do a walk around with it when it's done. But it's way better than the round 2 model was. As a round 2 model, things didn't line up. They wouldn't go together. The worst I had is these roof racks, but there's a good reason for it. The whole thing holds together by them really nicely. It holds together well. It looks like it should for a cartoon. I wish the tires were solid, and I wish these were done just a little bit better. And that was done a little bit better. But outside that, this is a nice model, and you could correct it really easily into something even better with a little bit of work. Okay? So let me pause and get the stickers on. Alright, let's take a look at this thing up close. It's done. The stickers went on fairly well. You just have to be a little careful with these big ones. No air bubbles. You just have to start at one end and slowly work your way across to prevent air bubbles. The alignment issue was the big one with the big stickers. And this one, getting it center was a little challenging. I also miscentered it on purpose. I wanted to see what it would be like if you pulled it up. And you can see when I pulled the sticker up, it bubbled a little. It stretched. They're vinyl. They will stretch. If you remember the color forms when you were a kid, they're almost those kind of stickers. They go on fairly well, though. And there it is all stickered up. You do have extra stickers. Scooby and Shaggy, some of the more popular monsters from the series. Halloween's coming up, so I've got a little haunted guy, jack-o'-lantern guy here. You have an extra license plate, and you have Scooby-Doo right there. I didn't put any of the extra stickers on here because they didn't belong on here to me. My daughters will probably tell me something different. Now, let's go ahead and put our 3 characters in here. Put Daphne over on the side. Let's take our Scooby. Put him in the center. Now, will he fit in here? That's the question. You gotta squish those legs up to get him in there. He doesn't fit in there and look right to me. And we'll put Fred driving. Okay, and put the lid back on it. Now, I really wanted to. I put magnets in their butts so they hold into the seats really well. They don't hold into the seats really well. And that's exactly what's going to happen with the kids right off. Is they're going to be on earthquake. He's holding on the steering wheel so he stays, but Scooby and Daphne are in the back. These tires don't stay on well, so if you got a kid, you give it to them, and they like to tear things apart, those tires are going to get torn apart, and you're going to lose those orange pins. So just be aware of that. Other than that, it's actually a fairly decent little kit, so I'm not disappointed in it. Proportionally, it's good. Color, it's good. It goes together well. If you got a 6-year-old and 8-year-old who likes Scooby-Doo, you can find this. I paid $10 for it. It's worth buying. If you're a Scooby-Doo fan, you want to paint it or not. I mean, if you just want a Scooby-Doo thing to stick on the shelf like a collector item, it isn't that bad. I'm sure there's better out there for collectibles. Like that little tab right there so you can pull that pry the roof off. I don't like that. That shouldn't be there. But I don't think it's too bad. Okay? It's not great, but it's not too bad. Way better than the round 2 one, which fell apart, and, well, we don't even have a piece of that left in this house. The girls destroyed it. All right, I'll be back with a biplane pretty soon.